Yeah, I know. I know, goddammit, I forgot to unmute myself. I've ruined the whole thing. You didn't hear the spooky music. You didn't hear Bentai saying...
Sunday Dusk. And here's your host, Corvus Twig.
Yeah, okay, I'm here. O hushed October, morning mild, thy leaves have ripened to the fall. Tomorrow's wind, if it be wild, should waste them all. The crows above the forest call, tomorrow they may form and go. O hushed October, morning mild, begin the hours of this day slow. Make the day seem to us less brief, hearts not averse to being beguiled. Beguile us in the way you know, release one leaf at break of day. At noon, release another leaf, one from trees, one from far away. Begone the sun with gentle mist, enchant the land with amethyst. Slow, slow, for the grapes' sake, if they were all, whose leaves already are burnt with frost, whose clustered fruit must else be lost, for the grapes' sake along the wall. That was the poem October by Robert Frost. Because, folks, it's October, baby. It is spooky season. We have made it. And we've got a whole month long of spooks and fear and terror. And Sunday Dusk is pretty much just going to be normal, you know, but we're still going to have plenty of spooky, 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 spooky. Well, welcome everybody who is here. We're always glad to see Hasio, Bentai, Drayfrjg, always wonderful people. And Blank 7th, thank you so much for joining. And anybody else who's lurking and not saying anything, welcome to you all. Welcome to this October edition of Sunday Dusk. We've got some great stuff planned all month for you. We got a great guest today. We got great guests lined up next week and the week after that. Week after that, things are still a little in the air, but I'm going to be in Vegas for TwitchCon. But I'm going to be hanging out with Best Bull Bentai and a few other of our VTuber groups, and I bet we could find something to do on Sunday night. We'll see. We'll see. No promises yet, because, you know, hey, it'll be a chaotic weekend, but we'll see what we can do. And then, of course, on Sunday the 29th, Sunday Dusk will be having the 3rd annual Corvus Twig Spooktacular! If you're a VTuber and you're watching this and you'd like to come on and read a spooky story, well, come on and read a spooky story. I'm accepting applications. By applications, I mean just message me and say, hey, Twig, I want to read a story. And that's pretty much it. You're pretty much in. Pretty easy. Oh, my gosh. We got some fun times tonight. Oh, the bird of the day. We got a spooky bird of the day. Oh, my gosh. I love this bird so much. And then, well, the guest. Well, you know the guest. You can see it in the thing. If you know me, you know this guest. You've seen them before. Oh my God, we've got Drayfrjg raiding. Hey Drayfrjg, how you doing? Drayfrjg's cool. I like Drayfrjg. Thanks so much for coming on in. Settle on in. Get yourself comfy. Get yourself a pumpkin spice flavored something, or cinnamon, or you know, whatever you want. Maybe just an apple. One person raid is still a raid. I'm just happy to have you here. So thanks for coming on in. And Drayfrjg, I know you're a streamer. You want to come in and read a spooky story on the 29th? You just let me know. Hey, should we get this show started? Should we get going on to the Sunday Dusk that you all know and love? I feel one person raid is just a self-invited guest. Hey, it's fine. We got to hear Surfing Bird. We got to hear a little bit of Surfing Bird. We love a little bit of Surfing Bird, so why not? But folks, it's time for the news. Whoa. Damn it, I hate when I try and scroll and it's click on another window and it's like it's still there. All right, the news. Oh boy. It's been a couple weeks. Not a whole lot of weird stuff, but, some cool stuff came. So my first story comes from Philadelphia. And, this man here decided to, here's the thing. He was getting to a Phillies game, and he brought along his emotional support animal. But as you can see in the picture, his emotional support animal was not a cat. It's not a bird. It's not a dog. It was his emotional support alligator. And the alligator's name is Wally. And, that's kind of the story, is that he brought his alligator to the ballpark and then was asked to leave. Said that, I'm sorry, but an emotional support animal does not count, and an alligator certainly does not count. And Henny, the man here, I don't see Henny's first name. Henny's their last name. I didn't copy that part of it. Anyway, they were asked to leave. Now, here's the thing. It wasn't a fair situation of a guy bought tickets to a ball game and just brought his alligator. That's actually not what happened. One of Wally's fans, who visits him regularly, is a big Phillies fan and happened to be friendly with the players. And the players actually reached out through this contact and invited them to the park to meet the players. The guy wasn't even planning on going to the baseball game. He doesn't even like baseball. Not even a fan of baseball. But he's like, well, I guess I might as well buy tickets to the game as long as I'm here to do this meet and greet with the players. But apparently that didn't go over well and wasn't talked to the staff of the ballpark. And, they were unfortunately kicked out. Didn't say in the article if he did ever actually get to meet the players, but he's just like, hey, I didn't bring this alligator here uninvited. And he was very clear that Wally the alligator doesn't go anywhere that Wally isn't invited to. Wally was invited. So, I mean, it's easy to think it's just like, hey, man, you can't bring an alligator to a ballpark and expect to bring it in. What are you, nuts? No, that's not what happened. This guy knows that the alligator is not going to be welcome in most places. He wouldn't have brought him if the alligator wasn't invited. The alligator was invited, but there wasn't good communication. And that's what this story's all about. Good communication. Interesting thing about Wally is Wally was basically raised from birth in captivity and is very comfortable and normal around humans, is fed regularly, and is actually pretty calm and chill around people. And there's been 0 instances of him ever lashing out or attacking anybody. So he seems to be doing a pretty good job. But obviously, with any animal like this, there's going to be a lot of danger. But so I don't know. It's one of those situations. It's just like, I can't really blame the guy who brought the alligator. He was invited, but he maybe should have done a little bit more clearing before trying to bring him into the actual main game. It's just one of the situations where I don't think anybody really comes out on top good, or nobody looks really too bad. Because, I mean, you understand the people like, hey, you can't bring an alligator in here. But at the same time, he was invited. I don't know. It's complicated. But they're doing fine. And Wally, this story's actually been kind of blowing up. So, I mean, they're getting taken care of. The Phillies got his back. Yeah, it seems like a good organization. Yeah, exactly, Bentai. Communication is key. Should have gone to a Gators game? Yeah, well, there are no Philadelphia Gators. In fact, I don't think there's any team named Gators in Pennsylvania. And nobody wants to go to Florida these days. Not at all. Well, my next story. Well, first off, I want to say thank you to Rachel Treisman from NPR for her article, Wally, the emotional support alligator, went to see the Phillies, and he went viral. Yeah. All right, well, next story. Are you in Massachusetts? Are you looking for some real estate? Are you looking to buy a funeral home? Doesn't have to be used as a funeral home, but that's what it previously was. Well, what if that funeral home is probably haunted? Oh, that's actually kind of hard to see in the picture there. But that little sign above the for sale says probably haunted. So this house, it's at 56 Main Street in Millbury, Massachusetts. has a sign on it that says that this place is probably haunted. I don't know why they put that on there. I mean, it is a funeral home. But, you know, my question has been, it's just like, okay, who haunts the funeral home at which they were, like, you haunt the place you died. You haunt the place you lived. You haunt a place that had deep meaning to you. You don't haunt the funeral home. That doesn't make any sense to me. What vengeful ghost is going to be like, hey, this is where they held my funeral. I'm going to haunt this place. It doesn't track to me. My knowledge of ghosts and where they haunt and who they haunt, the funeral home just doesn't seem like the right place for me. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Hasio. It could be a subpar funeral. Emotional support hauntings. I suppose it could be the case, but... Or maybe it is a place where somebody died. Maybe they were brought to the funeral home to be embalmed, and they weren't dead yet, but the embalming process is what actually finished them off. Who knows? I mean, all the stuff they do with bodies these days before burial, it's pretty much impossible to be buried alive anymore because they basically just gut you and fill you up with so many chemicals that your chances of surviving... I mean, that would kill you if you're not dead already. Embalming is weird. Why did we start doing that? Why did we start embalming? Maybe that's why they're haunting it, because the ghosts are like, hey, don't embalm me. I don't need to be filled with chemicals that are terrible for the ground. It's just like... I don't get it. But anyway, you want to buy a funeral home, it's probably haunted. I think that's a way of saying it's not actually haunted. They're just trying to, you know. Anyway, this place can be yours for the low, low price of $769,000. Okay, lovely. Lovely. You can buy a probably haunted. God damn, if I'm going to pay that much for a funeral home, I want it. I want it haunted. Proof positive. Proof positive that it's haunted. Yeah. By haunted, not a haunted VTuber funeral home, a probably haunted VTuber home. Okay. Okay. Well, my next story is about a crime heist. Well, as you may know, that Greece is one of the many countries that has first opened themselves up to the sale of medical marijuana. And medical marijuana has been legal to sell in Greece since 2017. But recently, one of the greenhouses in which they grow this marijuana for medical use had a break-in. And over 600 pounds of the plants were, well, I guess consumed would be the way to say it, by this motherfucker. That's right. A flock of sheep broke into a greenhouse in Magnesia, Greece. And the sheep then proceeded to consume. It wasn't just this one guy here. It was the whole flock. But the whole flock together, working together, ate 600 pounds of marijuana. Some hungry sheep. Well, yeah, they were already hungry, and they ate, and they're like, well, this is giving me the munchies, so they ate more. And then that gave them more munchies, and they ate more. Were they high? Absolutely. Yanis Boronis, the owner of the greenhouse, said that afterwards the sheep were jumping higher than goats after eating the ill-begotten greenery. And, yeah, that was pretty much the sum of the entire crop in the greenhouse. The whole flock got in there and just decimated the entire area. Now, luckily, the sheep are okay. But that year's crop, I'm afraid that's going to have to be a write-off this year. Silly little sheep. Well, thanks Ben Hooper of UPI for your article. Sheep wander into greenhouse, eat 600 pounds of marijuana plants. Good feta. Yeah, no kidding. That's good. Real good feta cheese. Delicious, delicious. Well, lastly, we're in the spooky season. And for some people, dying is the scariest thing that could happen. And for this woman, it was the scariest thing that could have happened to her. For she died 16 years ago. The only problem is, She didn't actually die. Yeah. Meet Madeline Michelle Carthen. 52 years old, and 16 years ago, it was reported in the government system that she died while studying at a university. Unfortunately, fortunately, she didn't die. But unfortunately, she was marked in all the government places as deceased. And she has been fighting for 16 years to have the government mark that, no, she is not deceased. And every time she thinks she's got it cleared up, it comes back and reports, and somebody... Like, here's the thing. If you're reported deceased, there's a lot of people that have to report to other agencies that you're deceased. And so... in order to clear yourself as not deceased, you have to clear yourself out of literally every single place that marks you as deceased. Because if you don't, then the next time two of those agencies talk to each other, the one that still has you marked as deceased will then report to the other that you are marked deceased, and you will get remarked deceased with the ones that you were marked not deceased from before. It's a huge pain in the ass, and I feel so bad for this woman because she keeps getting marked as deceased over and over and over again. And she just cannot seem to get it. She can't seem to get it completely cleared. Yeah, like she hasn't been able to get financial aid. She hasn't been able to apply for like licenses and stuff like that. Yeah, and she's just like, she's contacted places and they're like, ma'am, we need you to send us proof that you're not deceased. And it's just like, I'm talking to you. I feel so bad for this woman. Hopefully, since this story has gone a little bit viral, they've finally been able to fix everything. But God, what a nightmare. In spooky season, you don't want people thinking you're dead. That's spooky, that's scary, that's no good. 16 years. Absolutely unacceptable that this has continued to haunt her for that long. I hope she gets it cleared up because, oh my gosh, this is just absolutely insane. Well, thank you, Aram Salam from The Guardian, for your article, Declared Dead but Very Much Alive. Missouri woman tells of nightmare ordeal. And that, folks, is all the news for today. All right. I'm going to get back behind my desk. Hey, yoink. All right. Well, folks, we're going to be moving on to the next segment. And our guest today is a very special guest. Well, you see them in the chat. But this person is a dear friend. One of my closest friends. Someone who I trust implicitly. And we give each other shit all the time, but it really is a true friendship. I care for them. Ow! Not you, Rodney. God damn it, Rodney. You ruined... Ow! Rodney, you're not the get... That... Rodney. Okay, yes. Okay, that's very nice. Why don't you just go hang out over there? Okay. Well. A harem super... No. But, what this person has done, if you are a bird VTuber, well, this person wants to reach out. They have assembled a Discord server of over 200 bird VTubers. They are a variety streamer. They are an insurance salesperson. They are associated with, like, Norse mythology and stuff like that. They are gender fluid as fuck. But most of all, they are a dear friend. Everybody, welcome to Sunday Dusk, Drayfrjg.
You even told me to make sure I wasn't muted. Hello.
Wow.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
All right.
To Sunday Dusk.
Yes. All right, you can have a seat.
No,
right,
I don't want to sit now.
No, I want you to sit down.
I was going to do it, but now you told me, and now I don't want to.
Well, okay, fine. If you want to stand, you can stand. But it's a comfy couch. It's a very comfy couch.
I'm going to shit on a couch. Keep it up.
Don't you?
I'm going to do it.
Wow. Drayfrjg. I mean, come on. How do How do I announce a guest like you? Someone so wonderful, so friendly. I mean, we're just so stoked to have you here tonight.
I mean,
so.
I'm a Norse god. Chants, blood, sacrifices,
What's the last
drinking.
sacrifice you made?
Me?
Yeah.
Last sacrifice that I made, like physical sacrifice, metaphysical sacrifice, spiritual sacrifice, an emotional sacrifice. Times, what kind of sacrifice we're talking about here?
I guess whichever one comes to your mind most frequently, or like most prominently in your mind when I ask that question.
Yeah, like I said,
you sacrificed your time.
Medicine.
You sacrificed your time and your well-being to come on this show. Got it.
It's not a sacrifice when it's for a friend. It's a gift. It's different. It's different when it's a friend.
Well, we're so happy to have you on here. I mean, it's going to be a great spooky month. I mean, we've had some fun stuff. Well, so far, I have to say I've been very happy with my Drayfrjg insurance. The premiums have been quite affordable. I haven't had to make a claim yet, but...
Yeah, well, we go through a lot of, steps to make sure we don't have to make a claim because, making a claim is very expensive to us when it happens, and it mitigates our gains every year. And as most people know by now, I'm a very greedy individual. I'm a very greedy bird, okay? Mm-hmm. If there's not enough gold in my coffers, I have panic attacks, okay? Also, yeah, I guess you could call it a sacrifice, Drayfrjg, but it's not a sacrifice if it's not intentional, right?
Yeah, a sacrifice is defined as giving up and getting rid of something that is very important to you in order to, bring tribute or bring greater good or, yeah. But it involves sacrificing something intentionally to, yeah. Well, thanks for the follow, Blank Seventh. Appreciate that.
Hey, Blank.
But I suppose we could just get right into the 13 questions. We got 13 questions to learn. Ow.
Little known fact, 13 is my lucky number.
Oh, my. Well, then we better get to it.
Oh. Let me move so that I'm not taking up as much of the screen.
Yeah, just get yourself underneath the lantern there. There you go. That's good. That's good. Okay. Well, first question. I mean, it's the most basic one, but it's the one that's most important. So let my folks know all about you. Describe yourself as a VTuber. What is your lore? What's your stream style? And what are your goals?
How do I describe refined trash?
Recycled goods?
Recycled goods, damaged goods. That little cube that comes out of the trash compactors that are really satisfying to see. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen those? Have you guys ever seen those videos on TikTok? They'll put a car in a trash compactor and then it'll shit out a little tiny cube like that.
Yeah.
Satisfying but terrifying at the same time.
That's how they make game cubes.
That's how they make game cubes. It's true. High level waste. No, I don't know. I like to describe myself as a variety VTuber. For those of you who do not know me or are not acquainted with me, I am a Raven of Odin, the last one. My lore is pretty simple. I was pulled out of this realm and all of existence during Ragnarok, which happened sometime 2,000 years ago. And I inherited all the powers of the gods, all their artifacts, and I've just been kind of casually going through humanity and history, causing a ruckus as I go. And then the last, let's say 2 years or so, I was like, what if I just, try to bring the gods back through, egregore, pure thought process from humans. And that's what I've been doing. Goals? I don't really have goals. I do this for fun. I'm
just to have fun is a goal. Your goal is to have fun.
Yeah, but I could have fun with a baked potato. All right,
elaborate.
Nope. I refuse. I refuse to elaborate any further.
All right, folks. Whatever your imagination is thinking, that's what the right answer is.
Okay, I need to know. I don't know. You never played hot potato before? You never made a battery out of a potato? There's so much you could do with a potato besides putting your penis in it. All right, or shoving it up your ass.
You make it actually think about it. I have never actually played a game of hot potato using an actual honest to god hot potato.
It is a challenge. All right, so things that people don't think about, right? Because once a potato hot, right, it starts cooking, and by the time it gets hot enough to maintain the heat, it's gonna get squishy. So you're gonna toss it to someone. Someone's gonna full grip it and get burns all over the inside of their hands.
It sounds like a bad time.
Yeah, don't ask me how I know this. If you were a hot potato, I would squish you in my hands, Ben.
Ow. Getting a lot of stuff thrown at me today. Okay, well.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I mean, one of my long-term goals, and one that I know that will never happen, is I would love to get partners so I could start a bird tuber team on Twitch. So that way we could collect all the birds that we collected in the aviary into one team if they wanted to join. Well, and then we could promote it that way.
One of my regular guests, or one of my recent guests, did just hit partner.
Oh, I know, I saw. And I'm trying not to abuse the connection, you know?
The funny thing is that, like, Kira is so much more successful than so many of us who met her starting her career, but she still looks up to us.
I know.
What's wrong with her?
I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I applaud her humility and her humbleness and all that, right? Because I've definitely seen a bunch of people explode and then get really, really shitty. But for her credit, Kira has stayed pretty much the same person throughout all of it.
Yeah, she's very
down
to earth.
And I admire that in her.
Yeah, very down to earth, very kind-hearted. I'm so happy for her. So.
Yeah, me too. Again, congrats. I know I said let's go. That's my way of saying congrats on posts. Because I think the word congrats is a little too disingenuous for my actual feelings sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, yeah, congratulations, but I'd rather share the excitement. And so we said, let's go. But yeah, no. That's it. That's really my goal. You know, I've met a good number of people. I like to have fun. And I'd love to be able to, like, actually do something with the aviary on a public scene besides just having a private collection of bird VTubers, you know?
Yeah, make, like, a big fundraiser for bird recovery and care.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't I hear myself?
I don't know. You're sounding fine on my end, so we're good.
No, I don't know. I'm somewhere, some way.
All right, well, let's move on to the next question.
Okay.
If you could collaborate with any streamer, who would it be, and what would you play or do?
That's such a hard question.
I know, right?
Because there's lots of smaller VTubers that I'd love to collab with, because I think we would vibe with. But then there's, like, you know, there's the Hololivers, the VTubers that got me into the VTubing to begin with. It would just be any. Would it implicitly be good, or would it just be a collab?
I mean, I guess it'd just be somebody that you think you would get along with well, and that you'd have a fun, good product. You know, a stream where afterwards be like, well, that was really fun, and they were really nice. You know. I mean, obviously, this question isn't just to be like, hey, who do you think you could clout chase the best with, you know?
No, I don't mean it that way. But like, I'm like, am I going to have a stream where it's going to be me and my personality, and it's just going to be me fucking that up, right? The fumbling the bag. Or is it going to be like, things are going smoothly the entire time?
Honestly, you know? Knowing your personality and, like, okay, of, like, the big Hololive talent, I feel like you and Maury Calliope would actually get along, because you're both kind of that same kind of, like, unapologetic dorks, but also kind of have a cool front to you, you know?
That's very true. But, like, it's so hard to say, because I really love Kiara. I would say that, like every bird tuber says Kiara, right? But like, Kiara,
you know what? I'm starting to like Mume a little bit better.
Oh, for sure. Mume is, like, by her own rights, just as good. But I would say Kiara was like the one that really launched me into thinking about becoming a VTuber, because I was like, wow, she's just like me for real. And that's not even a joke. Like, her backstory kind of mimics mine in a way. Mm-hmm. Except for where she went the social media route, I went the boring, I have to get a job and provide for family one day route.
I think you're both kind of like natural leaders.
I wouldn't say I'm natural at it. I definitely had to learn how to be a leader.
Well, yeah,
Just a reminder, I started the French Revolution on a whim, so
Ha.
you're welcome, France. Uh, no, I would. I don't know. It's hard to say. Because there's so many people to choose from. And I know that like everyone fucking says this. And I think you've only had maybe 5 people who knew right off the bat, who knew like immediately that's who they want to go and collab with.
Yeah, well,
I mean, Louis, Subaru, Kiara,
any of the bird.
Crony. You know what? Actually, I would go with Crony because Crony is the only one.
Yeah, I could see you.
Crony is the only one I think I wouldn't be nervous talking to.
Yeah,
because at least Crony comes off as a person who's unapologetically herself and isn't putting up a front. And like, I could make a joke like, "Man, I want to die right now," and she'd laugh at it and not go, "Wow, that's really concerning, bud." She'd probably go, "Yeah, same."
Yeah, I could actually see that. Knowing her personality, I think you two would vibe well. I think you'd have good vibes.
It's the doomer mentality in us.
Yes, absolutely.
Salted.
Well, what game would you play with her, or would you do like a tier list or like reaction videos?
I hate. Okay, so on principle, I dislike tier lists. Yeah, I think it's fun content, but when everyone does the same tier lists, right? Like on my 2-year anniversary, that was kind of like the point of what I was doing was like we were doing things that I hated as activities, and one of the things I didn't get around to was getting like food that I hated eating, because I couldn't find anywhere that would make a eggplant parmesan with mushroom sauce for relatively cheap.
That sounds delicious.
And the other thing was like rating feet, because everyone knows I hate feet. I despise feet. They're disgusting.
Okay, well, not tell Kyoko you said that.
No, I trust me. I make fun of her for it. She deserves it. Yeah, feet. They're gross. Do you know how many you have more pores on the bottom of your foot than you do on your entire face?
Ew.
Yeah, fun fact. Also, your feet are just subject to fungus all the goddamn time.
Well, not if you wash them.
No, even when they're washed, there's still fungus underneath the toenails.
Ew.
There's no amount of washing that will get rid of all the fungus and bacteria on the bottom of your foot, just by virtue of how we use our feet, and we're on them all the time. But like other things I did on the stream was like I did a tier list of tier lists, right? So I took all the major categories of tier lists and I did a tier list of all theirs. And I thought that was pretty clever. But I don't know if anyone else did.
It's very meta. I like it.
Very meta. But I would say I'd probably try to do a 2-player game that required a lot of communication, but had a lot of opportunity for fuck-uppery and fuckery, you know?
So maybe something like along the lines of Super Bunny Man or Fogs or...
I would think that's too simple. Something like It Takes Two or the Bread and Fred that came out recently. That one's pretty. I want to play that one with Crockett, but I would absolutely give up playing with Crockett to play with Crony.
Hey,
100%.
You know what 2-player game I want to play with you sometime on stream?
What?
Is Keep Talking and No One Explodes.
Oh my god. I forgot that game existed. I would want to play that one with Crony too.
Yeah, sometime. But anyway.
I forget that one's such a gold mine for opportunities.
I'm Die. Thank you forever.
I am Die. Thank you forever. Wait, no!
One of the great moments. God, why didn't Corone and Calliope do more collabs after that? That was like so good. Why didn't they do anything like that again? It was so good.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but they stopped doing a lot of collabs between the JP and the English girls, and I'm not sure what. Business-wise, it makes sense. They want to promote EN as their own thing and not just be a shoot-off of JP, right? But at the same time, I think those miscommunications due to language barriers are absolutely fucking hilarious.
When you have somebody who speaks English and knows a bit of Japanese collabing with somebody who speaks Japanese and knows a little bit of English, it's so great.
Exactly. It's just funny. It's fun in games. It's good fun in games.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next question. But that's pretty great. Yeah. All right. So, what game has the most hours played on any of your devices?
Oh, I don't want to talk about my addiction to Destiny 2.
I knew it was gonna be Destiny 2.
I was actually looking at the number today, and I can pull it up. Hold on. I have well over 2,250 hours on the
Wow.
game. That's only on Steam. I played it a lot on Xbox. I played it a lot on BattleNet when it was on BattleNet.
God damn, dude.
I would argue that I'm closer to 4,000 hours total across all three platforms.
That's yeah. Like I only have 1,600 hours or so in Sea of Thieves, and I feel like I played that a lot.
Yeah, but Destiny 2's been out longer than Sea of Thieves.
Hello, the Gemin Empire Yeet. Welcome.
The Jermaine Empire. Yeet. All right.
All right.
Maybe it's supposed to be the Jermaine Empire.
I don't know.
Those are rookie numbers. DieFed, I have what you might call touched grass and touched women before in my life.
But like
all
one of
right?
my questions that I have is how many hours have I put into Minecraft?
Okay, but I'm thankful that Minecraft doesn't track hours because that would be an embarrassingly high number.
Yep,
okay?
for a lot of people.
It would be so high. Between modded Minecraft, regular vanilla Minecraft. I mean, one time I made an entire raid farm, and that took hundreds of hours. That was the fastest message lead ever. Yeah, no, I would. It's definitely Destiny 2. Runner up, probably Mass Effect, just from the combined number of playthroughs I've done of Mass Effect total as a series, and then probably Minecraft.
8. Yeah, makes sense. All right, so what is your favorite place that you have visited, and what is a place you've never been to but want to go?
Oh, fuck you. I know that. I studied the questions that were gonna happen, and I thought I had answers. I have so many reviews that I'm just throwing out the window right now. My favorite place is, I'm not naming the place because I don't want anyone else to go to it, and it's already becoming a touristy spot.
Oh.
But there's this place up in northern Michigan that my family used to go every summer. And we still like going up there, but it's expensive now because of the tourism trap that it's become. But it's on the lakes. It had a beach, and we would be there for about 2 weeks camping. It was like one of those plot camp sites. And it's I don't know, it's just one of the best places for me to be mentally. I don't have to think about things. The technology is limited. Only what I bring in can I play with. There's a beach not far. I can hear the waves while I'm sleeping. I can hear the wind through the trees while I'm sleeping. I can smell the smoke in the air. And if I needed something, I can go into town by bike or through car. And then there's a bunch of different places we can go and do stuff. Mostly we just sit around and camp.
That sounds lovely. Honestly, that sounds fantastic. That sounds amazing.
We like to go fishing. There's a place that we can go fishing, and we can take the fish we caught and go trade it for fish that's dried, smoked already, at a local shop because we know the people. They make fish sausages. It's so good.
And in the same state as Detroit, how wonderful! Look, Michigan is a land of contrasts.
Yeah, Michigan is the land of contrasts in that the northern part kind of got left alone for a very long time.
Yeah, I've heard certain stories about the UPers.
Yeah, they're a different breed.
They're a different breed of people.
They're a different breed of people.
But,
and then a place I want to go to. I mean, okay, cliche Japan, obviously, right?
Yeah, everyone says that.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna be non-cliche, I would love to go to Lebanon.
Oh, interesting.
Lebanon or Beijing, I would say.
Huh.
Because my family is Lebanese, but we can't go back to visit our family because it's been since our family came to the States. Basically, it's been classified as a threatened area for U.S. travelers. And at one point, it was so threatened that if going there, you would be marked as a potential terrorist if you ever returned.
Yeah.
Now I think it's down to just a threatened area for U.S. travelers.
Which sucks, but
yeah.
Hopefully things will change and keep getting better.
Yeah, hopefully. I'd love to go and
I do
have.
feel optimistic for the world, but I think we are more connected than we've ever been. Even though it feels like we're divided, and there certainly are a lot of divisions, but
I think a lot of it comes down to. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
well,
I
I
thought you
just
were done
saying is
talking.
I just feel like we have more ability to communicate with people from other countries than we've ever had before, and so I think a lot of people have a lot harder time viewing people from other countries as others when the ability to talk to them is easier than it's ever been. But
Oh yeah, I think that's basically that's what I was gonna say. Is it's undoing years of propaganda that it's just us and others, right? Um, a lot of it will be like undoing the propaganda that Africa's a really shithole place, right? Like it's not. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, there's problems there, but like a lot of Africa's still safe to travel to, and it's like the safest it's ever been
yeah, and guess
since
what?
World War
They have
II.
big cities with skyscrapers and modern amenities and
Yeah,
all the things that you have in so-called, in
yeah.
quotation marks, Western civilization. It's like,
Yeah, and I mean
um,
it's the same is true like China and Russia. Well, Russia I don't think will ever be a fully safe place to go just by virtue of the fact that of its leaders. But like China's a safe place to go, unless you really fuck up in China, you don't usually have problems, right? All four people that I know who've gone to China have not had any issues going to China.
look, the United States is viewed as a dangerous place to visit by a lot of other
Yeah.
countries.
No, I mean you go like fuck, I can talk to you know me. Most of my crew are Europeans because of the virtue of how I started streaming.
Hmm.
Nico was like is terrified to come to the States because she's afraid of like violence there, and that's valid. I mean, it's perfectly valid if you look at the numbers. A lot like there's a high violence rate. Um,
But the
but it's
thing
such
is that, okay, post-pandemic, there was a spike in violence and violent crime that got the numbers back up to where they were in 1998. And in
yeah
1998, they were the lowest they had ever been. So it's like we have seen consistent decreases in crime across the country and then across the world over the
yeah.
last 30 years. And like
Again,
everywhere in
technology.
the world is way safer now than it was in the 1970s.
Yeah, technology, general like knowledge of how things have shaped us. Like,
Look,
I think
I
the world's
have
gonna get
family that
better,
lives
but
out
I
in the
think we're still. I
sorry.
still think we're gonna. It's gonna take us a few generations to get over the damages done by past generations. You know.
Yeah. But people still overreact about the dangers of the big cities or something. It's just like all my family who lives way out in the outer suburbs are like, oh, I don't want to go to Minneapolis or St. Paul. They're so dangerous. And all the people I know who live in Minneapolis and St. Paul are like, what are you talking about? It's totally safe.
Yeah,
And
no,
fine.
and it's like it's actually statistically inaccurate to say that big cities are more dangerous than small towns that are rural.
Per
When you look at the
capita.
numbers,
Yeah.
yeah, like when you look at the raw numbers, it's more dangerous to walk into the middle of a town in the middle backwoods Mississippi than it is to walk into downtown in New York, right?
Especially if you're a minority.
Especially if you're a minority. I would
Yeah,
argue
it's,
that cities are the safest place for minorities, but I don't want to speak out of place. I am white.
yeah, we're both pasty as fuck. Even though,
Yeah.
look, under these feathers, my skin is very, very white.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like we've answered this question sufficiently, so let's
Yeah.
move on.
Moving on.
So if you
Moving on
could
up.
be instantly talented at any skill, what would it be?
Singing.
Ah, it's a good one. It's a real good one.
Singing. I feel like I could learn everything else with enough determination and knowledge and time. I don't think my voice is suited for singing, so I would want to be instantly good at singing.
Yeah, I mean,
So I would
one
love to
thing
do
I
a
love about
karaoke
this
stream.
question is that the answer almost every single time is something creative.
But
Nobody
anyways,
says, I wish
hold
I
on.
was instantly
Hold on,
talented.
Diefed. Hold on. I
Not
will
video
end your
game.
life in the middle of this. I will end it.
It's
Watch
good.
your
That's
tone.
good. But no, I just love that everybody picks something creative for this. Like nobody says, I wish I was really talented at stock trading, or
Well,
I was
mean, as
really
everyone knows, I'm a bajillionaire, right? Like, I have an infinite coffer. I don't need to worry about stock trading. That stock trading is for peasants, all right?
Oh, so you're
Stock
saying you don't
trading.
need any more money?
No, I need your money. That's for sure.
Oh, I just like say,
That's
if you're so
that's
rich, then why are you charging me
that's
such high
business
premiums
money.
for my Drayfrjg
That's
insurance? I just
that's business money. I can't take home the business money until it's taxed, right? So for money to leave a system, it needs to be taxed first. That way, I don't have the IRS knocking at my door again. I didn't think the IRS had the technology to travel between planes, but they do.
Oh, they do.
They do,
They'll
and it's
get there. You can,
terrifying. You don't know what it's like when you're on the ninth layer of hell, and the IRS guy goes, "I don't know if this is the right address, but are you Drayfrjg?" And you're like, "Oh fuck." And you know it's not a trick of the devil because the devil like does his taxes, all right? Even the devil does taxes, okay?
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, singing. God, like I do wish I was better at singing. Like I can sing decently.
Yeah,
but
right. I would
I'm
say
not.
you sing decently enough.
But I'm not like.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. You're not fucking what's his name from Rush.
Neil Peart.
Yeah.
He didn't sing. He played the drums.
Whatever. Whoever's sang in that fucking band. All right. You know what I mean?
That's Geddy Lee.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you want from me. Perfection? No, thank you.
Yes. Geddy Lee was the singer and the bassist. Alex Lifeson was the guitarist, and Neil Peart was the drummer.
All right,
and I say
nerd.
was because they're no longer a band because Neil's dead. He's fucking dead.
Yeah. I wanted to see them live at least once in my life, but
Funny story. I have heard Rush live, but I have not seen Rush live.
that's amazing.
And the way
How
that
that
it worked
happened?
is that they were performing at the Minnesota State Fair in the grandstand. And I was there with my dad and one of my friends. And there was a place you could stand that wasn't in the grandstand, that you could still hear everything from the speakers and stuff, but you couldn't see the stage. But you also,
Amazing.
it was at a place that wasn't part of the inside of it, so you didn't have to pay to get in to stand there. So we just sat there and we hung out like on a grass and a bench, just hanging out, eating state fair food, listening to Rush. And it was kind of cool. They played.
I'm so jealous. Like even
started
getting
off-
to hear them live would be amazing.
They started off with a couple big hits, and then they played the entirety of Moving Pictures, and then finished with some other songs.
That's mwah, chef kiss.
Yeah, I mean, Moving Pictures, great album, great album.
Fantastic album. I think it was my first Rush album that I bought on iTunes when iTunes first came out for my iTunes mini.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like half of their big hits came off of that album. Wait, was Tom Sawyer on that album?
I don't think so, but YYZ's on it.
YYZ's on it, Limelight's on it.
2112, okay, but I have to take it back because 2112 for me is their iconic album. Like
Yeah, Tom Sawyer
21
is on it. It's Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta, YYZ, Limelight, Camera Eye, Witch Hunt, and Vital Signs. Yeah. But 2112, I don't know. I could never get into that one as much, personally.
Okay, but have you listened to 2112 with the interstitial poems that they would read on stage?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, because like the song tells a story, right?
Oh my gosh. I've been followed by the Raven Corax.
Yeah, he's a shitlord. Don't listen to him.
Okay.
Um,
Well, thanks for the follow.
it's very frustrating because they don't own the copyrights to the poems, so they can't put them in the soundtrack because it would turn into an hour-long song by itself with
Right.
it. But it's such a good story, and I really love it for that reason. I mean, it's a dystopian novel from the 80s, so it's the far-flung future. Humanity has been superseded by a cult-like religion that controls all media, and it's the fear-mongering of communism gone too far. And it's about a guy finding a guitar and going like, "Hey, this religious cult. I found this guitar. I think humanity would benefit from it. And they're like, no, it's sin. It's bad. Toss it out, and they break it in front of him. And the rest of the song is about him discovering how to remake the guitar and how to bring the song to the masses. And on this journey, like reconnecting with the spirit of humanity and finding this entire legion of people that have like done the same thing, and then them coming and bringing the fight to the religion with music. So the Baptist controlled GOP. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess one of the downsides of Rush is that a lot of their material was a little too libertarian for me.
Yeah. It's at the time though, it was very liberal.
Hasio, that sticks. God, Hasio's quoting Mr.
You can't bring foreigners anywhere these days. They don't know sticks.
Foreigner is a completely different band.
Fuck, you're right.
God. Come on. All right. Well, Dre, what's the biggest thing you geek out about?
Politics, probably.
Alt text?
Politics.
Oh, politics. I thought you said alt text. Like, I craft the best alt text for the images I put up.
If we're talking stuff that I could talk about endlessly, it's politics. That or Destiny 2. Or Mass Effect. But like on the whole, I think I talk about politics more than often than not, because I've always been big into the political landscape. Even before I realized how much I hate our current system of government, I was always paying attention to the world government and our government and how things worked and why things have broken down so bad. I could tell. I mean, I sound like a crazy person anytime I try to explain the littlest thing about how the GOP got to where they are. But because it requires like 50 years of research to
Turns
even
out
get
a lot of our government is based entirely on the honor system, and one party realized, wait a minute, there's no consequences if we break these unwritten rules.
Yeah, and the other party has yet to figure that out, or at least, well, they understand consequences exist and they abide by the consequences, but they haven't figured out they don't have to, and I'm actually kind of happy that they haven't figured that out. Because it's the only like sane thing keeping the masses at bay, I think.
Yeah.
Drayfrjg bottom text. Your bottom text.
I mean, I would love to sit down and talk about this far more, but I do try to keep Sunday Dusk away from politics.
I know.
Yeah. But I mean, hey, you and I are probably on the same page on 99% of shit. So
I would hope so.
Yeah, it's important. All I can say is, get into politics. Listen to the stuff. Listen to the.
Do your civil duty. I don't care how you vote or what, but like, at least be educated about what you're voting for or what you're paying attention to. Please, for
pay fucking attention. That's
duty. Fuck you, Bentai. But yeah, Destiny 2 is probably one that I could talk about for hours. I mean, it's a massive game with massive amounts of lore. And it's reaching its final arc right now as we speak. Like, we're in the last year of content before the game's definitive quote-unquote end of their current saga. And it's honestly, like, it's really exciting on one hand and also really disappointing on the other one. Because how do you end a game like this that you've been telling for 10 years plus, right?
You hit Alt F4.
You hold F4 and deliver on the bad guy, the big bad evil guy, and to deliver on the enemies and their power level without making it feel like a cakewalk, and then also make it a live service game that you're adding guns into constantly and needing to balance and patch shit. You know, they only like 3 years ago admitted that they know they have an MMO in their hand, not like an action RPG. It's an MMO RPG.
Those darn Morpurgers.
Morbs. We're just going to find out that they're into dreaming post marathon at the Infinity. I don't know what that is. I know Infinity. I know Marathon exists, but I haven't ever played them. And Diefed and like a few other people in my streams have been trying to get me to play some old Bungie games recently.
Yeah, I never played Marathon. I guess the only Bungie game I've ever really played much of was the Halo series. You turned into a bird.
I got tired. All right.
Okay, that's okay. We're always good to have a bird. Anyway, I've got a question for this new bird. What's your favorite activity that has nothing to do with streaming or video games? So it could be like board game, card game, sport.
I'm gonna take a page out of Ben Tai's book. Sleeping.
Is that really an activity? That's more like an inactivity.
I know, I'm joking. In my spare time, I like cooking a lot. I like eating. I like food. I like eating things. Words are words. Words are words. I'm a connoisseur. I enjoy getting into food and nitty-gritty things involving food. I like going to breweries and trying new beers and tasting the differences in the beers. I like going to coffee shops, finding new beans to try. I like finding new ways to cook food that I've eaten for forever. I like trying new recipes. I like trying new fruits and vegetables that come in or that I've never heard of before. So I'd probably say cooking. I like baking a lot too.
Any particular recipe that's your favorite?
For which? Baking or cooking?
Both.
Baking, I have a recipe for a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie that I think is the best cookie recipe to ever be made. It took me the better part of a year and baking multiple different kinds of recipes for cookies and culminating what I liked out of each one into one cookie and making it very balanced and flavorful.
In the beginning, Dre created 9 chocolate chip cookies, which
true.
he gave to the chocolate lords. He then created 3 cookies to give to the elven lords, and then 5 to the peanut butter kings. But there was one cookie that he made in secret. Sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it.
And he put all of his deliciousness into this cookie.
And then cooking food, it's really hard to say because I really enjoy a large variety of foods. But I'd probably say cooking Lebanese food is probably my favorite to cook because it's a lot of hands-on stuff, doesn't require a lot of tools. So you don't have a lot of mess to clean up besides pots and pans to mix stuff in.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've been to a Lebanese restaurant. It's real good. It's real good. Should go again.
Yeah, absolutely. If no one's ever tried Lebanese food, I would recommend it. I really would. You like hummus? That's a Lebanese dish. Cinnamon ghoul.
I heard a joke the other day that I really liked. It was,
What's up?
London is home to the greatest chefs in the world, the Indians.
True. That's so true. It's so painful. It's so true.
I mean, I hear like every restaurant in, like all the best restaurants in London are French restaurants and Indian restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Good times. Well, cooking's great. I love to cook too.
Mm-hmm.
I made myself a pasta dish with chicken and broccoli and... No, it wasn't chicken. It was turkey sausage. Turkey sausage, broccoli, mushrooms, onions, and a creamy Alfredo sauce. With some pepper. Delicious.
I made homemade currywurst today, which is I didn't make the sausage, but I don't have the means to make a sausage right now. You take like German white sausages, put them into a curry sauce, and let them simmer for like an hour.
Oh, it sounds so good.
It's so good, dude. You have no idea.
So good.
And you put the sauce on top of fries and on top of the sausage. Serve it with some sauerkraut or another side of your choice.
Curry
Delicious.
on fries is so good. Like curry sauce on fries, it's the friggin' best. Why would you ever put ketchup on fries?
Yeah, vice versa.
There's so many other better sauces you can do over ketchup.
Yeah. No, don't tell Susie. Don't tell Susie. Oh my God. How awful.
I want to make poutine, but instead of gravy, you put curry sauce.
That's a thing. You can do it. There's a place up in northeast New Brunswick that's called the Poutine Shop, and it has 100 different kinds of poutine.
Amazing.
And it's not like poutine with bacon. They have different types of fries, different types of cheese, different types of everything. I've only been twice in my life, and it's delicious every time.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Next question. What's your favorite holiday, and how do you celebrate?
Christmas. Christmas. I love Christmas. I love the lights. They're shiny. I love the presents because I'm greedy.
I'm
I
sorry,
love the
folks.
food.
We're gonna have to end this interview right now. He didn't say Halloween. We're fucking done. No, I'm kidding.
I enjoy Halloween, but I don't get the hype of most holidays, right? I enjoy it for the things that surround the holidays,
Oh,
right?
of course, of course.
I like Christmas because it's a time for me and my family to gather around. I can see my brothers after I haven't probably seen them all year, or maybe once or twice in a year. I get to see my mom and dad. We get to cook food together. Usually we go to a Christmas market or something like that. If we're like this year, we're all going to Germany for Christmas, right?
Oh,
Because it's where my parents
nice.
live. So we're gonna go to Christmas markets we grew up going to when we were kids. For people who don't know, I grew up in Germany. Um, do you mind, sir?
What?
No, my cat bit me on the leg.
Cat?
And I don't know. I like the lights. I like the food. I like the shiny things. I like people. Usually it's 2 weeks of me not having to work. Like this year, it's gonna be 3 weeks of me not having to work at all. So that'll be fun. That'll be nice. I'm gonna go see Nico. I'm gonna go see Kraka at the end of the year for my birthday.
Beautiful.
So it'll be a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think just because of how, like, barring Christmas, winter holidays are the coolest because they're the exact spirit of ingenuity to human minds to keep themselves from going crazy. Right?
That's fair.
To keep themselves from being depressed as fuck.
I
Like,
don't know if that's true. Then how do you explain Valentine's Day? Because I always get depressed as fuck around then.
Well, that's not a time of desperation. That's a time of everyone running and no one wanting to say it out loud. But no, I mean, like, think about it. Like, everywhere that experiences some kind of period where it's too hot or too cold has some kind of observance of sorts, right? Like, I can't remember where it was, but there was a religion at one point that during the hottest months of because they were in the desert, during the hottest days, they would not go outside at all. Like, it was considered taboo, and so they would sit inside in their like underground huts. But like likewise, up in the north, wintertime, people were stuck inside. The food was decaying rapidly or frozen all the time, so they had to come up with ways to keep the food warm and going for like 3 months at a time or longer. And so they're like, here, let's just be fucking debaucherous as fuck.
Yeah. I like it. Makes sense. Yeah.
Everyone whined to be running. Everyone was running. You guys you know what cuffing season is, guys?
No.
You said that very, very knowingly.
No.
It sounds like no.
No.
Humans go through rutting seasons too. We just have them far more frequently because we can have more babies more often.
Babies.
Cuffing season is why I trot up subs, right? Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Subs. Meatball subs.
So yeah, I gotta say a solid
BFP.
Christmas on this one. Solid Christmas.
Right. Hey, Christmas is fine. It's good. It's good.
I could have said Valentine's Day and made you all fucking sad.
Yeah, but you didn't. So we're moving
No.
on. All right. Of all the subjects and all the sciences, or of all the things that exist in the world,
How Kraka stands.
That's a really good question. How the fuck does she do it? You've seen
Yeah.
those legs. Those shouldn't support a body.
I know far more about Kraka than most people, and there's a lot of scientific questions like how has she survived this long?
Obviously, there's some
jokes.
magic going on in there.
There's some magic going on. Jokes aside, I'd really like to see how the collective manifestation of ideas permeates and roots itself into the human psyche for so long. Right? Like, I know the core concepts, but I don't understand it. Right? Like, I don't understand. Someone comes along, says, I'm a king, you're going to pay me taxes or I'm going to kill you. Right? And how you don't immediately go, I'll fight you about that, and I'm going to kill you about that first. Obviously, history is loitered with people doing just that thing, right? But where does it start? Where does it come from, right? Someone, sometime, said something along the lines of, "I am your king," right? In the Bible, it says that Saul was chosen, right? Solomon was chosen as God's first king or whatever, right? And then it
Better
passed
call
down through,
Solomon.
yeah, basically, it passed down through the chain by God's choice, quote unquote, right? But if you don't believe in God, that kind of falls flat on its face,
I
right?
mean, it is. It's
It
certainly a
like
very, very complicated topic. I mean, I think it has a lot to do with threats of violence. It has to do with children basically being sponges and believing whatever their elders tell them, and then passing that on to their children, then passing it on to their children. I mean, literally, if you look at what the original definition of memes were, it's like so much of how we do things and what we take for granted is basically just mimetic through generations, and we're taught it as children and we teach it to our children.
Yeah.
And
No, and that's exactly the thing, right? Is like this is just thought and words that we've all agreed to, but like we've stopped agreeing to a lot of words recently in human history,
And I
right?
think it's because as we were talking about earlier, I think it's a lot of it has to do with the communication between cultures being more easy than it ever used to be.
Exactly. And like, I mean, for example, how many laws do we have in the states, right, that just don't make sense, but people for some reason follow them, right? We could just say no,
Yeah.
and then fight our way about it. Very one-way trip, but you can.
Welcome to Texas. Whoa, you want some guns? You may have as many guns as you like. No restriction on guns. Have all the guns you like. But if we catch you with more than 6 dildos, I'm afraid we're going to have to lock you up.
You're a pervert. Sorry, that's illegal. You can't be a pervert or depraved or worse. Okay.
Now, are you allowed to own more than 6 guns that are shaped like a penis?
A good question for the court.
Yeah. Like, you can't restrict the number of dildo guns I have. That violates
They're
my Second
guns.
Amendment rights.
Primary function gun, secondary gungeon.
So
Secondary
basically,
function.
if you want to own as many dildos as you want in Texas, you just need to find a way to make them have a deadly apparatus attached to them. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, understanding that how bad. Yeah, I think you and I have very logic-based brains, and we like to think of very facts. And it is hard for us to understand why ideas that are clearly factually wrong and ideas that are clearly objectively terrible continue to persist, and why we don't understand why the vast of society doesn't see what we clearly see. You know?
That's what so at my work I have a bunch of bureaucracies that I have to go through anytime I like change someone's account or make a change to computer. And whenever anyone says something about it or makes a complaint, I'm like, well, you could change that. They're like, what? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you could just, confirm with me that you hate this process, and we could literally go to the people who make it and be like, hey, this process isn't working for us. And then we could shoot it up the chain because I've already looked into this, and the way we have this is literally just someone thought this was a good idea at one point, and it's no longer a good idea. We can literally just stop doing that.
I
And
actually
they're
had
like,
that happen at
wait,
work.
really? And I'm like, yeah. We're like 75% of what we do for bureaucracy in the IT department can literally just be boiled down to someone thought of it, and it's no longer necessary.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had that happen at work. There's a spreadsheet that we used for tracking something, and the spreadsheet that we had was terrible. Like, 2 separate data points were entered into the same fields, like the account number and like the name of the the servicer.
Don't get me
were in
started.
the same field, and there's no reason they should have been. And like, there were things that we had to enter. So like, we use this spreadsheet to keep track of it on our end, but then we have to enter the information on one of our clients' websites. And like, there's information that you enter on the client website that wasn't on our spreadsheet that were like important things. And it's just like, hey, how about we just make our spreadsheet mirror what their form is like exactly, and have the exact same fields and all that? And like the other person who does that work is like, oh my god, yeah, we should do that. That's great. And my boss is like, hey, that's a good idea, but I don't know if we're ready to go ahead and change a process right now. But, you know, I need to take time to review our process and whether we do this. And I'm like, it's just a spreadsheet. Just let me change the spreadsheet. All I have to do is add the spreadsheet. She's like, well, I don't know if we've got the time. They're like, you don't need to spend the time. You just need to say, hey, Twig, we can do this. Go ahead and do that. And that's it. There's your time. And she's like, well, we're not going to do this at this point in time. Well, you know what? I fucking changed the spreadsheet behind her back, and we've been using it for over 2 months now, and it's so much fucking better, and the boss doesn't even fucking know, and probably looked at it, wouldn't even know that it had been changed, and it's fucking so much better than it used to be, and I've been doing the
same. I've been doing the same at work. I've just been slowly changing things in the background, waiting for someone to notice, and if they notice, I explain it to them. Usually they go, why did you change this? I'm like, oh, it didn't make sense. They're like, oh, okay. But there's been 1 or 2 big changes I've changed recently, and no one's given a shit. So I'm taking back what I can and giving myself the leeway of going, yeah, no one's gonna question this because I can explain this as a really bad idea.
Good on you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the worst scuff or technical malfunction you ever had on stream?
I accidentally showed my face on stream once. Does that count?
Yeah, I'd say it counts. I've seen your face.
Ugh, gross.
Once unintentionally and once intentionally.
And then yesterday for 2.5 hours, I had no audio on my stream.
Oh no!
There was no microphone. You could hear the game, but it was a game that was naturally dubbed in Japanese and only had text. And I try to narrate that stuff for people to watch and listen along to.
Well,
and
fortunately, there was nobody watching the stream to know.
No, there were. There were like 8 people watching. It's fine.
Why didn't they say anything?
Well, Drayfrjg did, and I just didn't see his text message.
A fair amount of that was Dre dying over and over to the same boss.
Yeah, you were missing a lot of good dialogue there. I'll be honest. It was mostly screaming, going, "What the fuck? What? Why? Huh? How?" I don't want to say anything because it was. Everyone, yeah, that's the problem that I fall into. Whenever stuff happens on my stream, people don't tell me. They let it happen. They just let it, like, we're gonna ride this out. All right, we're gonna time to see how long it goes till Grace.
I'm just getting word from Bentai that you have been muted this entire stream.
Please don't say that to me.
You're fine.
Please,
you're fine.
I'm triggered. I'm immediately triggered. No.
All right. Well, I want to keep moving along because we're...
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
All right. So, stranded on a desert island, and you got to bring 1 movie, 1 album, 1 book to keep you entertained. And no, the point of this is not to pick something that would help you survive on the island. It's stuff that you could enjoy over and over again and never get sick of it.
Return of the King, probably. Yeah, Return of the King as a movie.
Now, since you're on a desert island, you're probably going to go with the extended edition, right?
Of course, yeah. Why? I say Lord of the Ring movies, and I don't even mean the theatrical cut at this point. I am intending us to sit down for a 4.5 hour long movie. Okay.
I have to say though, Return of the King, most of what they cut out for the theatrical release, I agree, didn't really add much and made the movie drag on too long. But them cutting out Saruman's death scene was fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that needed to happen, I think, in the movie.
That scene is great and should not have been removed from the movie, and it's a slap in the face to Christopher Lee to have done that.
Yeah, exactly. 1 album.
Moving Pictures by Rush, okay.
Crack the Sky by Mastodon.
Ah, it's a good one, too.
I listen to that album at least twice a week. It's such a good album through and through. If you haven't ever listened to Mastodon, go listen to them. But specifically, I would recommend listening to Crack the Sky. And then 1 book, Dune, probably.
Dune. Ah, interesting.
Yes.
Dune, the movie, the book.
The movie, the book, the book movie.
The novelization of the movie.
The comic, the novelization, the graphic novel, the animation, the trailer.
The pile of sand by the beach.
Merchandising! Spaceballs, the video game. Yeah, I think that's it. Return of the King, Crack the Sky, and then Dune. Because I would say Return of the King as a book, but like, I'd rather see it. I think the movie does justice to the book enough to not have it doubled up like that. You
Oh,
know?
I think absolutely. It's so weird how the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy did such a great job of bringing the books to life, and then the
Yeah.
Hobbit sucked so
And then
bad.
The Hobbit, the one movie spectacular. You don't need 3 movies for the Hobbit. Like the whole point is that it's like you're telling a story to child because that's what it was, right? It was Tolkien telling his son Christopher tales to get him to shut the fuck up and go to bed, and it reads like tales that were told to a child to get him to shut the fuck up and go to bed.
Yeah, it's
And
like, oh, the Battle of the Five Armies. That's
literally,
1.5 pages in the book becomes
literally,
a 3-hour movie.
someone asked me about it. It's like, yeah, I didn't want to actually have to describe an entire battle scene because it was gonna give me PTSD. So I just said, what's his face got knocked out instead. Like, valid. What a valid thing,
The
King.
Battle of the Five Armies. Sorry, 5 for 5 is a deal that's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, Diefed, same.
Yes, animated film, good. All right, moving on. What advice would you give yourself before the first time you streamed? Don't talk
I don't
to
know.
a twig fella.
I don't know. Maybe, don't. I don't know. I would say don't try to tie your ship to anyone else's. Right? Because that's what I tried to do initially. That's the advice that I was given.
You tied
And it
it
was
to
bad
Kraken.
advice. I tied it to Kraka, and that's worked out for me ever since.
Yeah.
Because everyone that I met at the beginning of my streaming career, I only talked to one, and it's really one-sided when I talk to them. The rest, I like. The only people that I can name offhand that have stuck around VTubing, and people that I talk to are all one hand. And it's more in passing at this point. It's like, hey, how are you doing? Revna is the only person that I would honestly say that I met very early on in my journey and still talk to regularly, and she's still a close friend. Kraka,
Yeah.
I didn't meet till like 3 months later, and by that point, I'd already gotten like the gist that tying your ship to people is bad. Don't rely on others to make your content good.
I think, like, from very,
Also-
very beginning, I'm trying to think who was, like, actually
Also,
there at
don't
my first-
take the new job. Just stay on night shift. It's much better.
Bentai's been here since pretty much the beginning. Kyoko has definitely been here since the beginning. But I feel like I met you pretty quickly. Oh.
I had
You weren't
a
in my
bot.
first spooktacular, I know that.
I know we weren't friends by that point.
Yeah.
But now look at us.
Now, guys.
Now look at us.
The 2 best Corvids.
Yes. The prime of our genetic families.
Yeah. But speaking of Corvids, I guess I have to ask this final question. What's your favorite bird?
Secretary Bird.
Ah.
Nah, I'm kidding. It's a raven. But I'm just including ravens because obviously.
Yeah, I know. For like you and me, it'd be like, what's your favorite bird that is not a Corvid?
Hello, it's me, the Corvid, the Corvid King, the King of Corvids, literally the Raven One. All right.
All right. Well, I'll tell Kira you said that.
Literally, you do not understand how psyched I was when Kira came about, and she was a secretary bird. I was so stoked. There were 3 secretary birds at the time, and I think she's the only one that still streams.
Only one I know of.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're not me.
Oh,
You don't have an orb that lets you see everything.
sorry, Gilbert. Geese are not our favorite bird.
Yeah, it's definitely not geese or ganders, Miss Pedant.
All right. Well, we now know so much. Actually, I think I don't think I learned anything new. I think I.
Yeah, you didn't learn anything new.
I
I don't think anyone's learned anything.
But I think
I'm
our
a pretty
guests.
open book.
I like to think a few of our guests have learned a few things about you. I think.
Yeah,
I think they enjoyed it. I think we had. Some
I'd like
good
to think
times
they
there.
did. Yeah.
But
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's time for the most important part of the day. The most
Bird of
important
the day?
segment. Yeah. I was gonna say
Go,
that. Yeah,
go,
it's time for bird of the day.
go.
It's time for bird of the day. right, Dre, you have to.
Yeah, I know. I
Rodney,
realized.
get the fuck out of my face, Rodney. Right. Yeah. Fine, I'll just move down here. That's fine. That's fine. No, no, quit covering me. Quit, stop it. 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 I will delete you.
Oh!
Okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, well. So, for the month of October, for Bird of the Day, I like to do spooky birds. But of course, this is my third October doing this, and boy, those last 2 years, I really did a lot of streams. And it's kind of hard to find birds that are spooky, but I think this time I found one that is a little bit of a spooky bird. Pretty cool bird. This bird this week, well, one of the scariest things about him is this is a water bird. And we know water birds are the scariest birds. This bird is the anhinga. Look at that bird.
That's a glorious bird if I ever seen one.
That's a glorious bird. Spooky, black, point the beak, unhinged. Yes, this is the anhinga, a beautiful black water bird, and some really fun, interesting things about this bird. Really fun, interesting things. So let me tell you a little bit more about them. Well, for one, they're 30 to 35 inches long, which is a pretty big bird, but also, if you look at that, that's like 12 inches of neck and 12 inches of tail. So, I mean, they're
like a pelican.
They're a lot smaller than a pelican in terms of like body size, but in terms of like total length, it's not too far off. They're actually going to be a little bit smaller than a goose, I would say. 45-inch wingspan, so nice big long wings, weighing about 2.7 pounds. Not a super long-lived bird. The oldest ever record in the wild was 12 years old. So
what you're saying is, God said you get to die before your cringe happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, I did say they're a water bird, but they are not a fowl. They are not of the Anseriformes order. They are part of the Pseudoformes. And in the Pseudoformes, you're going to find like cormorants and like other a lot of those water birds, like I don't think it's cranes. It's not cranes and herons. That's a slightly different one, but
yeah, they're a different one.
Yeah,
They're different.
Yeah.
I will say I sorry to interrupt.
No.
I only know what a cormorant is because of Pokemon.
Okay.
Sorry, my ADHD took over.
But as you can see, they live on the coastal regions of Mexico and the southern United States, and then all the way down through Central America, and through quite a bit of the, that big red blob there is kind of like Amazon and coasts. Yeah, you're going to be found all around those places, but they are most numerous on the oceans, on those coastal areas is where you're going to find them. And the thing is that they're often confused for cormorants because a lot of times they're in the same area and they look very similar. Both with black feathers, long curvy neck, but they are not cormorants. Now these guys have a pretty cool little way that they make more of the anhingas. Well, for one, in their second year, sometimes third year, they are going to find a mate, and they will continue to mate with that same mate year after year until one of them dies. So they are monogamous for life. I always like that. And then they do their nesting in colonies. So like a whole bunch of anhingas, but not just anhingas. Sometimes other water birds around. They're gonna basically nest all in the same area, up in trees. They're gonna build their nests up there, and but there could be like multiple nests in the same tree, and then like lots and lots of nests in the same like cluster of trees, because well, it's just safety in numbers, baby. They have about 2 to 5 eggs per clutch. They only do 1 clutch per year. And you can see some cute little babies up there. As you see, when they're babies, their feathers are white, and it's not until later in their first season do they grow their black feathers. So I think that's kind of neat. And then yeah. Both of the parents are going to help build the nest. Both of the parents are going to incubate the eggs. And both of the parents are going to feed the chicks and, teach those little chicks how to be a good adult. So, you know,
I
I
have a
like it.
question.
Yeah.
I have a question. What's a colony of Anhingas called?
I don't know.
Why don't you know this?
Because I didn't see that in. I would, you know, if I see that kind of information, it's probably, you know, a lot of the times if you don't see it, like I've got my sources where I do these research, and they always include that bit of information if it exists. And this one they didn't include it, so it's probably just called a flock. It's probably just a flock of
All right,
Anhingas.
we're giving them a new name today.
Okay. I'm listening. Oh, you didn't have an idea?
I didn't have an idea. I'm saying we're gonna do that today. We have some hours left.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'll have one by the end of this. I'll have one by the end of this presentation.
All right. Cool. Cool. Now, I love that picture. It's so goofy looking. But yeah, some really interesting stuff about them. Now, obviously, they are water birds, so their diet's gonna pretty much be fish, but also amphibians. You know, they'll eat a toad, they'll eat a frog, they'll eat a salamander. Now, one of the cool things they do is that they will often... No, these guys swim. These guys swim so differently than any other water bird that I've been finding. So, you know, one of the famous things about ducks and geese and even ibises and cranes and herons is that their feathers produce an oil that makes them water, you know, hydrophobic. The water just slides right off of them. These guys don't have that. These guys... When they get in the water, they soak up the water in their feathers. But you think like, oh, well, that just weighs them down. That's going to make it really harder for them to swim. And in some ways, it does. But oddly enough, it makes them naturally buoyant. So they don't either really sink or float, which gives them excellent control underwater. So they're able to swim basically up and down and all around very easily when they're in this condition. And very often what they'll do is they'll have their body underwater and they're going to swim with just their neck out of the water, which you can see on the bottom left picture on this previous page.
I gotta appreciate a semi-submerged bird.
Yeah. And that's why, well, on the bottom there's a whole list of nicknames, but one of their nicknames is the snake bird because their heads poking out of the water kind of look like a snake going through the water. But yeah, they will swim through the water, and they're going to have their neck tucked back into their body and their beak closed, and they're going to swim around, they're going to find a fish. And then what they do is when they get that fish, their neck shoots forward like a spring gun, and their pointy beak is so sharp it will impale the fish. So they're basically like a harpoon gun underwater. They harpoon the fish with and then bring it up to eat.
That's so sick. That's metal as fuck.
It's fucking awesome. I love it. Yeah, that's how they hunt. It's pretty sweet. Now, because they get waterlogged on there, once they get out of the water, you're very often going to see them, like you saw in the very first picture of this presentation. They're going to do there, and they're going to spread their wings and their tails all the way out, and that's so they can dry it off in the sun. And because of that, they need sunny areas. So these guys do migrate, and they're going to migrate to wherever it's sunniest. They love to be around the sun. They don't go too far north or too far south. They kind of hang around the equator, but they're going to go up and north and south to wherever the sun is, because they got to do that to dry off, and it's kind of a neat thing that they do.
So I'm glad I'm not alone. It kind of reminds me of one of the monsters from Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay. They're pretty neat. I would design a monster around these guys.
I would too. I'd fight it. I'd fight it hard.
Yeah, they have a lot of nicknames called the Water Turkey, the Grecian Lady, the Devil Bird, the aforementioned Snake Bird, and the Tupi people in the Brazilian rainforest. Their name for them translates to Evil Spirit of the Woods.
I thought geese were the turkey of the water.
Well, the thing is, it's just like you can have that might be the nickname in the United States, but not the nickname in Brazil. Or in,
it's survival of the fittest until it's you, huh, Gilbert? I know I could defeat you.
Yeah.
Easy.
Gilbert would
It's
kick
the turkey
his
of the
ass.
sea. That's mahi. No, like that's chicken. Hold on.
Chicken of the sea
Grouper.
is
Grouper.
tuna. Grouper. Yeah. So
Do we have a mating call?
they don't actually vocalize that much. They're a very quiet bird. They do some like little chirps and stuff, but for mating, their mating is all about dance and spreading the feathers out in presentation. It's not very auditory.
I mean, look at that plumage. Look at that shit.
That's some amazing plumage.
Those are some good feathers.
I mean, I didn't know much about the anhinga before I started researching them. And these have become maybe my favorite water-based bird. These guys are friggin' metal as fuck, and they're awesome, and I love this how unique they are as far as water birds go. These guys, I love them. Like, it's a water bird. I'm not supposed to love a water bird, but here we are.
You can love whatever you want.
I mean,
it's a new world.
Gilbert.
It's a new time.
Gilbert.
No, I hate Gilbert. Fuck Gilbert. All my homies hate Gilbert.
Gilbert is good friend. Gilbert is good friend.
Fuck Gilbert.
But yeah,
100%.
my thoughts, the anhinga. No, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. It's not a foul. It's totally
Not a
different.
foul. Jay blacklisted. Got it.
Got it.
Fair.
Yeah, got it.
It's bold of me to assume I didn't blacklist you already. Unfriended, unfollowed, and I'm working on the cancellation document right now.
Yeah, I guess the anhinga shows that even water birds can be pretty damn cool.
I forgot that you have a prejudice against water birds.
I kind of do. That's the thing. Is like you hate waterfowl. Like actually, waterfowl aren't like they're not gulls or petrels.
There's a reason why Gilbert's called a waterfowl, not a water bird. It's because she stinks foul.
Yeah. Well, as far as I hear, you're pretty stinky.
I'm not stinky. I preen every day. Thank you. I have my own personal bird bath. Thank you.
Yeah, you have to use it.
I do. It's expensive perfume.
Okay, filling up your bird bath with ice and then sticking beers in there does not count as using it.
Okay, it does, and it's in the user manual as an option. And don't call me out like this on stream.
All right. Well, we're gonna call this bird of the day done. We got one more segment to do. Let's head back to the studio.
Okay. I just try to move myself.
Yeah. Oh God, you're huge.
Sorry, it happens. You wouldn't understand.
All right. Well, we got one more little segment. We got a game to play. Hey, your hair fell off.
I know. I'm trying to find a button. Hold on. There we go. Okay, go on.
Oh, yeah, you totally stripped down. Well, this is a game that I hope all y'all can play along with at home. Keep your own score. See how well you can do it on it, because it's another one of Drayfrjg's famous quizzes.
Drayfrjg'd out.
But we're gonna see how well Dre can do on this quiz here. Now it is October. Dre,
yeah.
What you know about horror movies?
I have a strong aversion to overly gory movies.
Okay. What do you know about movie monsters?
Oh, I love them.
Okay. Well, today we got a little quiz.
Okay.
That is Drayfrjg's Name That Movie Monster.
Oh, hell yeah, gamer.
I am going to show the movie poster for a movie, and you must tell me who the name of the main killer or monster from that movie.
Okay. If you were going to say actor, I would never.
No, not going to be actor. You need to name the...
I feel like I might do well because I used to work at a movie theater, and the movie theater made its money not off of like new movies, but off of doing specials where they would show like old movies like this and like with specific menus and specific kinds of popcorn and stuff like that. I had to serve them.
You're guessing none of the monsters on that picture are featured. Now, these are more modern ones. We're starting with the 1980s and moving forward to modern times.
All right. Might have a shot.
All right. So, well... Our first one, the first few are going to be easy. Everybody should get a few on these ones, but it's going to get progressively more difficult. All right, so the first one, we're going to start off. Are you ready?
I'm ready. As ready as I'm ever going to be. I'm stupid, so whatever. Go ahead.
Well, we're lobbing you a softball here to start off. Halloween.
Oh, Mike Myers. Michael Myers? Yeah.
Okay. You said Mike Myers.
I know. I like to do that
Mike
to
Myers is
people.
Austin Powers.
I know, but technically he could be called Mike Myers.
Yeah, well, no, you got it right. It is, of course, Michael
Yeah,
Myers.
yeah. I hate facing against him in Dead by Daylight. He's the worst. Because he doesn't have a terror radius in game, so you don't hear him coming closer to you. And then all of a sudden, once he stares at you long enough, it's terror radius on, and he's 2 feet behind you, and he's ready to slap you in the dick.
Oh, man. Scary.
Friends call him Mike. I'm his friend.
All right. Well, this next one, also very easy. But I said it's going to keep getting harder. But, hey, play along at home, folks. Keep track of your own score. Let me know what your score is at the end of it. All right.
Okay.
Number 2. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, so there's a lot of points of contention here. We could go with calling him Bubba, right?
Yeah.
We could also go with Cook, or any of the other family members. But I'm assuming you wanting to go with Bubba here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, what's the common name that he's kind of been given?
Oh, Leatherface.
All right. Yes, of course. But yeah, you are right, and like I don't think he's ever actually called Leatherface in the first movie,
No.
is he?
No. I don't think he is.
I think you're right. I don't think he is. But...
They called them each other by their family names. You know, Cook, Bubba, Sissy, Johnny, and and Gramps. I forget the other one, Hitchhiker's name. I forget his name.
Yeah, but no, you got what we were looking for. You got it.
Okay.
You got it. You're doing good.
Okay.
You're doing good.
All right. Solid.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna get this one.
All right.
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, Freddy Krueger, please.
Yeah, I mean, come. That's maybe the easiest.
I
one.
actually had a nightmare about Freddy Krueger once, and I woke up in a cold sweat thinking I was dead.
Yes, but yes, A Nightmare on Elm Street
Really?
is of course Freddy Krueger. I mean, one of the great horror monsters of all time. You know, he's
The first iteration of him was terrifying, and then they got progressively goofier and campier.
yeah. I mean, I think the series peaked with the third one, Dream Warriors, but the first one, in terms of the first one is the only one that ever even approaches scary. The other ones are just silly.
They're just camp. That's kind of like the flow of horror movies from that time period, right? You got one really solid, scary movie out of it, and then the rest were just camp as shit. And I love that, but at the same time, it created this weird little void of true horror being created for a period of time. Right? And now we have true horror being made all the time. And I'm like, can we go back to the camp stuff? That'd be great. I'd love a good campy movie right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're 3 for 3, as I expected you to be.
Yeah.
All right. Saw.
Okay, so are we going for the actual bad guy's name or the name for the animatronic doll?
We're gonna go for the name of kind of the animatronic doll, the what's most associated with the common name that you hear with these Saw movies.
Oh well, give me a second because now I actually have to remember because I only remember the actual bad guy's name and not the doll's name. Oh fuck!
It's not a human name; it's like a nickname.
No, it's not Jigsaw. It's like
yes,
Billy
it is.
the doll,
Congratulations, you're correct.
Oh.
It's Jigsaw.
Oh. Wait, isn't it called Billy? I'm pretty sure the doll is actually called Billy, and then everyone refers to it as Jigsaw.
Huh.
I could be wrong.
Well, I know it is Jigsaw, so I'm going with Jigsaw.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
You said the words, so I'm going to count it as correct. But I've only ever actually seen the first movie.
Yeah, it's supposed to be it's supposed to be like Billy the Puppet, but everyone refers to him as Jigsaw.
Huh.
And then the real bad guy, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, guys. The real bad guy's name is John Carpenter.
And then he went on to direct, well, Halloween.
Halloween, yes. All right.
Friday the 13th.
Oh, Jason Voorhees.
I'm sorry, that is not correct.
What?
It is Pamela Voorhees.
Oh, fuck, I forgot.
I didn't do Friday the 13th, part 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. I said the first one, goddammit.
I got tripped up by the mom.
I got you with the trick question.
This is bullshit. Should get partial credit for getting the last name right.
Nope. On any other question, I probably
I
would,
quit.
but not on
I'm
this one.
leaving.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people.
It's because no one watches when people. I feel like when people say Friday the 13th, they don't refer to the first one. They refer to the second one,
or even the third one, because he doesn't get the hockey mask until the third movie. The third one is really the one that started like the whole trend of the whole movie series.
Yeah, because the first one actually has some terrifying moments in it. The rest of them are just goofy as fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got me. Congrats. You got me on this one. Jackass.
All right.
A curveball like that.
I had to.
Hey,
all right. The Ring. Now, this one,
okay.
I will accept the name of the girl in either the Japanese or American version.
Okay, because I prefer the Japanese version, and it's Sadako.
Yes, okay.
The Japanese version, if you guys have not watched it, is so much better than the American version could ever hope to be.
Yes, she is Samara in the American version.
Yeah, and Sadako is so much. It's such a better movie. It has so much more plot to it. Has so much more like motivations, and it's not just here's this creepy girl on the TV.
The thing is, I think the American version is perfectly fine. It's a fine movie. But when you compare it to the Japanese version, yeah, it falls short.
That's based on, right? This is like saying the Cowboy Bebop movie show is okay. The live action show is okay when you remove it from the fact that the anime exists, right? Yeah. But the anime exists, so you can't really say that it's its own thing, right? Because it's so heavily based.
I always say, has there been a live action remake that has surpassed the original?
Not surpassed, but One Piece did a really good job.
I keep hearing One Piece is like the best live action remake.
Of all the actual live action remakes of anything that's happened so far, One Piece has taken the cake.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Next question. Trick or Treat. Now, this is kind of an anthology movie, but we're asking specifically for the name of that little sack boy guy there that is pictured.
I don't think I've seen this. This is an anthology of the I can think of the Pumpkinhead movies, isn't it?
I think so, but I don't know. I've never actually seen it, but I've heard this character has become quite popular.
It's supposed to be based off the Celtic myth, right? That's the whole thing for the Pumpkinhead movies is that it's like the personification of the Celtic myths. So, and it's not going to be the one that Pumpkinhead's named after, obviously. So I'm going to go with Samhain off the top of my head.
That's correct. He's just referred to as Sam, but you are correct. It is, yeah.
Hell yeah, haven't even seen the movie. Just Celt knowledge right there, buddies. See, who knew being a Norse mythology-based VTuber would pay off like this? Who knew?
Very nice, very nice. I like it. All right.
I had an inside knowledge, Just you gotta win a little bit. Bit.
Next one. We're starting to get a little harder.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. This one's easy.
Pennywise.
Yep. Yeah. Come on. Everybody knows this one. Super easy. Portrayed, of course.
Has anyone read the books?
I have read the book, and the book I would not recommend. It's fucking creepy, and it makes me... There's things that happen in the book that are like, Steven, maybe you should have cut this part.
It's all the cocaine he was doing. All right, listen. But who knows that in the book, it refers to itself as Robert Gray at one point, and changed its name to It later on before taking the name Pennywise.
That does sound familiar, yeah. But...
If you don't have the Pennywise dancing mode in D2 Dre, I ain't got no respect. I think I have it.
Yes,
but
Pennywise the Clown.
I don't know if anyone's read the Dark Tower books, but it's referenced that Pennywise is a dark entity in that series as well, as the manifestation of horror and terror. I think it's a spider. It's a cosmic spider.
Oh yeah, the funny thing is the poster that I have right here actually has the name on it. In that small text on the bottom, it does say special appearance by Tim Curry as Pennywise. I didn't even notice that, but you can't read it. It's too small.
Yeah, no. I would not be able to read it on the screen.
Yeah. Pennywise. What a great villain. Monster. I love Tim Curry.
I love the remakes. The remakes did a really good job keeping to the books, I think.
All right. Moving on to question 10. Or, no, this is question 9. Psycho.
Not American Psycho.
No, just Psycho, the Alfred Hitchcock classic. With the famous shower scene.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't remember it. Oh, fucking...
Dun, dun.
I always
Dun.
get him confused. I always get... So, you know Patrick Bates, right? The bad guy's name is Norman Bates, but, like, Patrick Bates, you know who that is?
Yeah.
I always get them confused.
Well,
like...
you just said Norman Bates, so you obviously know the answer.
Yeah. No, the answer is Norman Bates, but in my head, for whatever reason, Patrick Bates' name is the name that's associated with the movie Psycho and not Norman Bates. And then Norman Bates is the one I associate with Patrick Bates, IRL.
Yes. Norman Bates, the crazy killer. So we've now had the 2 movies that were heavily influenced by Ed Gein. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. Ed Gein was fucked up. That guy was fucked up.
That guy had problems.
Mommy
all right?
issues.
Like H.R. Geiger level of problems, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Next one. The Exorcist. Now, in this one, I'm not asking for, like, who Reagan is. I'm asking, they specifically do name the demon that possesses Reagan.
It's Pazuzu.
It is Pazuzu!
I could have had a minor in demonology in college.
Right.
I've read both the Greater and Lesser Keys of Solomon. I have read numerous books from exorcists, both real and fake. Demonology is sort of like a secret talent of mine, and it's always interesting to me to see what demons are presented in what media and how many times they conflate them with Satan in the wrong ways. In Pazuzu, Beelzebub, and Azrael always get fucked up because of that.
Yep.
Oh, my name's Azrael. Satan. That's not it, bud. That's not how that works.
They're different.
They're very different.
All right. The Omen.
The Omen. God. Taking me back. This was like one of the first movies I can remember ever watching. Like at like a sleepover at my friend's house whose parents didn't give a shit. I think the bad guy's name is like Damien or something like that, right?
Correct.
Damien.
It is Damien. The child's name is Damien. I did it for you, Damien. It was all for you. And then hang yourself.
Yep.
Yes, Damien.
It's such a creepy movie.
It is a creepy movie because Damien never
It's like,
actually really does anything.
No, nothing like obviously horror things happen but like it's never over the top. It's creepy. It fucks with your mind more than perverts your like eyes, right?
Oh,
and I love that kind of thriller aspect of horror. Like I love psychological thriller movies so much.
Yeah, there's a reason this movie's a classic.
It's absolutely up there for a good reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, child, another easy one.
Do you want the doll's actual name? Or do you want the generic name?
The generic name.
Okay, that's Chucky.
Yeah, of course it's Chucky.
Yeah, it's Chucky.
But
Charles
the serial
Lee
killer
Ray.
that possesses the doll does have an actual name.
Yeah, his name is Charles Lee Ray, the Lakeshore Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Or Strangler. Lakeshore Strangler, I think, is what the actual title is. Dies, possesses a fucking murder doll.
Yeah. And then decides to open a chain of children's entertainment center / casinos with animatronics.
Yep. What a turn.
What a turn. Yeah. I meant to put this one, I think, earlier in this because that's too easy. That's grab bags. That's grab bags.
That's
grab bags. Everybody know this one. All right. Well, now. I think we're gonna start to get harder. Hereditary.
I mean, it's the daughter. I can't.
Well, it's not the daughter. Okay, it's the name of the demon that is like.
Okay, but this is again going back into demonology. That's Paimon, the demon.
All right.
Of knowledge and there's a lot of demons of knowledge. I just need to point this out to you guys. If a demon says they have knowledge, that is so generic. Ask them more specific things. All right. Literally, Never ask a demon for knowledge because you're gonna get what you want to know anyway. Just because that's how knowledge works, right?
Although, wait, no, I'm just getting this news in. Turns out it is not Paimon. It turns out the true villain of Hereditary is the Academy for not giving Toni Collette the Oscar for Best Actress.
That is true.
Because holy shit, how did she not even get a nominee? Toni Collette's performance in this is unbelievable.
It's such a good performance.
I mean, great performances all around. I mean, that little girl is creepy as fuck, considering how young that actress is. She was so great. And then, yeah, the son.
I will say that they actually depicted Paimon how Paimon should be depicted, with a crown and a non-feminine, non-masculine face.
Mm-hmm.
Where riding a camel, I think, at some point in the movie.
Hail Paimon! Hail Paimon! Okay,
yeah.
Digimon's names all end with Mon. Is there a Digimon named Paimon?
I'm sure there is at this point.
I
hope there is.
I really hope
Paimon, Demonmon, Satanmon.
All right.
Satanmon, Digimon, too.
Well, we have done 13 so far, and you have 12 correct.
Hell yeah, gamer.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good. All right. God damn it. When you were talking about this earlier, why did I have to throw it in? Now say the name again.
Patrick Bates.
Say it one more time.
I don't want it anymore.
Say it one more time.
Patrick Bateman.
Okay, there we go.
Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, you said Patrick Bates.
I know, and that's why I get him confused.
It is indeed Patrick Bateman.
Leave me alone, I'm stupid. Also, really good movie. Really good classic movie.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot.
Where it's more thriller most of the movie than it is murder blood. You know?
Yeah. And just like I love just like the mundanity, like all of his coworkers who are they're all vice presidents. They all have identical cards. All the guys like look and dress the same and are completely interchangeable. And it's just like I love that how it's just like they're nitpicking all the tiny differences in their business cards. It's just it's so great.
Yup.
It's so great.
It adds to it, right? It adds to the layers that American Psycho has to it, you know, and its criticism of businessmen, of and how his, American masculinity is,
and his breaking down of just bland pop music. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Huey Lewis in the News, but like, it's not high art.
It's not high art, but it's good.
I mean, Sports is a great album. I gotta say. Yeah. And I can't imagine anybody other than Christian Bale pulling that part off.
No, there's no other person that I think could have made that movie.
Yeah, and apparently they had somebody else in mind, but like Christian Bale fought really hard to be in this movie. And I think like the director did too, but like producers wanted somebody else. But like they were able to convince them to get him in there. So yeah.
And man, did it pay the fuck off.
Yeah, good movie. Good movie. All right. Little
Okay, Audrey too.
God damn it. You were worried about not being good at this quiz, but you're fucking killing it.
Okay, Little Shop of Horrors was the first show that wait. Let's switch you're going. Okay, Little Shop of Horrors was the first musical that I auditioned for, not on a bet and of my own free will.
And did you like it?
No, I didn't. I didn't get in. I was a technician. That's where I learned how to. That's where I learned that I like being a techie for theater. But I auditioned for Audrey too. I can't sing, and I've never been able to. Going back, that question of being instantly talented at singing, right?
Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me.
I really love Audrey 2 song. It's like, feed me,
feed me, Seymour, feed me,
Seymour.
I'm a mean green mama from outer space.
Yeah, like I can't do that. And we And our producer really wanted us to lean more into the jive of what Audrey can produce, right? And so it went to my friend, Damien, and he did a fantastic job. But it's a role that I really want to play one day in my life, you know.
You know what the most unsettling part of this entire movie is? Steve Martin with black hair.
Yeah, it's so off-putting.
It's like, that's not what he looks like.
That's not Steve Martin. That's Steve Fartin, his cousin.
Yeah, I friggin' love this movie. It's my favorite. It's my favorite movie musical, hands down.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. I like the extended edition at the end where they have the plants running through New York.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the original one. The original.
The ending is not as good.
No.
For the humans. Thanks for the follow, Void of Truth. Appreciate you.
But it adds to I don't know. If you're going for the horror aspect of it, the original black and white film definitely leans into the B film horror, where it's like the end, the plants have taken over all of New York City, which is a big point of like contention and anxiety for the American populace back in the day. Every kind of horror happened in New York City. Every kind of invasion happened in New York City. It's insane.
We need. There's some cities I feel that are very underrepresented in movies. It's like, I can't think of a movie that takes place in Indianapolis.
I can't think of one that takes place in Las Vegas or Minneapolis.
Well,
St.
I
Paul.
suppose like horror. I don't know of any in Vegas. I know plenty of not horror movies in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm speaking horror, invasion horror. You know.
Yeah.
Just needed destroyed by all the horror monsters and slashers. It's true.
All right. Well, you are kicking ass. You've got 14
yeah,
points
but I
right
missed
now.
one.
Yeah, you missed one.
You can't be kicking ass. I'm not perfect.
All right. Well, we're moving on to the next one. It is The Host.
Oh, fuck. I don't think I've ever even heard of this. Is that like one of the greatest monster movies ever made? I don't know this one. It looks like a tentacle. I'm going to go with the Kraken.
Okay, the Kraken. Well, yes, Hasio, it's always capitalism. But no, it's Guomel. It's a sea monster named Guomel.
Yeah, I've never heard of this movie.
I saw this one when it first came out, and I remember it being pretty good, but I did not remember the name of the monster. They do say its name a few times in the movie. And,
do you see the monster?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you see it. Yeah. They did a good job of keeping it pretty hidden until the very end of the movie, you know.
Is this a foreign movie or is it made in America?
I think it's made in America. It's made in America. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I believe you.
Like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it.
I'm looking it up. It looks like it's made in either China or like Japan or something.
Oh, maybe. Korean. It's Korean.
Korean. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's probably why I haven't heard of it. I've only recently started getting into Korean horror, which, all by God, Korean horror movies go so hard in the camp features, and I love it.
Great. Korean horror.
It's like, it's either you get an insanely unsettling piece of horror, or you get the campiest thing to ever come out since B film, right?
Well, The Host is definitely more on the campy side, but
yeah. There's a Korean movie that I was watching recently that was like, it's zombie sharks. That's like the premise. That's it. That's the premise. Zombie sharks.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get this one.
Karloff and the Uncanny Mummy.
Okay, I was wrong. We did do one of the classic ones.
Yeah, I was about to fucking say. You said earlier.
I forgot about. I put this one in.
You fucked up, kid. You fucked up.
Now, obviously, the Mummy.
It's Karloff.
What's that? It's not Karloff. That's the actor. And the Mummy is not the character's name. I'm asking for the name of the Mummy.
That's a little bit harder. It's one of the Egyptian priests, isn't it? It's like it's not Neotep. It's his distant son, Imhotep. Is it Imhotep?
Well,
it's not Imhotep, is it? No, that's the Mummy.
Declare
right?
your answer. Don't ask it as a form of a question. Say your answer. And
I'm gonna go with Imhotep. I'm gonna go with Imhotep,
and that would be
tell me
correct.
if I'm right.
It is
okay,
Imhotep.
fucking thank God. Oh, fuck me up with all the goddamn actual names of the
More
mummy.
like Emotep, right?
Gosh. But his makeup in that was solid.
It was pretty good. Yeah, the original
It
Mummy's.
was really good.
The original Mummy's better than. Although a lot of people,
No,
it feels like the 1999 Mummy with Brendan Fraser is getting a bit of a resurgence. I don't know why.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's a bisexual nightmare.
Yay.
All right. Everyone's hot. I don't know who I'm gonna like touch myself to later. You know, it's
The answer is
there's
always
options.
Brendan Fraser. Come on.
There's options. All right, there's options.
All right. Misery.
Oh, I cannot stand this movie. It's so slow. It's like nails on a chalkboard. The bad guy's name is Annie Wilkes, by the way.
Oh, god damn. You are just fucking killing this quiz.
But I cannot stand this movie. I love James Caan. James Caan is a phenomenal actor all throughout.
Kathy Bates is a phenomenal
Kathy
actress.
Bates is a phenomenal actress. It's just the movie does not land for me.
It's a little slow. I will give it that. I remember seeing it and thinking, yeah, that was all right.
You watch it once and you get the gist, and there's no point in rewatching it. You understand what happens.
Mm-hmm. But you remembered her name. That's pretty good.
I very rarely remember names of movies I don't like, but this one sunk so bad into me that I hated it so much. Also because like Annie Wilkes gets ripped on so much in so many media, in so many ways, right? In comedy, like you can think of Family Guy. Family Guy did a whole skit about it.
Oh, yeah.
It was in Futurama. There was a joke about Annie Wilkes in Futurama. There's a joke about her in The Simpsons. I think there's even a skit in The Simpsons too. So it's just one of those things. It's a cultural icon of a piece,
Yep.
but I just don't like it. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, 2 more to go. Insidious.
What was the plot to this one? I don't remember. Was it like this?
This one, there is actually a couple different names that I will accept as the right answer.
Is Insidious the one that's about demons, or is this the one that's Shia LaBeouf's in the other one?
Running from Shia LaBeouf.
LaBeouf. I thought this was the movie that was like where
the evil entity is a demon in this one.
Is it the one with like it's really weirdly named?
Yes.
It's like lipstick demon or something like that. Lipstick face demon or something like that.
The lipstick face demon is correct.
Yeah, it's like a little shit ass demon thing, and they couldn't even go through the process of finding an actual demon.
Yeah, like
they were like lipstick demon
is like
face.
the demon's like actual name, but they refer to it as lipstick face demon or the
kind of looks like
demon.
Yeah, he kind of looks like
it. Honestly, it looks like Darth Maul's pathetic brother.
It reminds me of an Oni mask.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Oni mask in there. Yeah. All right, very good. I wasn't sure you were gonna get that one, but you're goddamn, Dre, you're kicking fucking ass at this.
I always forget how many horror movies I've watched because of girlfriends past.
All right, well, the final one, Sinister.
Sinister. This is a movie that I didn't see, but I know because people talked about a lot when it came out. I mean, it's like
you can kind of see his face and that.
Like it had a good marketing team, but it's like it's a play on the boogeyman, and it's like Bogle or Boggle or something like that, right? Like it's supposed to be the boogeyman.
You got it, buddy. It's Bagul.
Yeah, nailed it. I'd never seen the movie, but so many people talked about it on the bus rides.
Oh my
2012.
Gosh. Well, okay, it's like I'm not gonna put the movie poster for the Babadook because the Babadook is the
so
Babadook.
The patriarchy.
Or the Bye Bye Man. Or Candyman, where the name of the movie is the name of the villain. You know, I had to pick movies where the name of the movie was not the name of the villain. But goddamn, we're at the end here. That's 20 questions, and you got 18 right.
Yeah, baby. Wait, what was the second one I missed?
You missed you missed Friday the 13th and the host.
Oh fuck yeah, I got fucked up by Pamela Voorhees, and then the host. Right. But the host, I don't think the host should count. That's a foreign horror.
Okay, fine, foreign movie. That's fine. Either way, you
But
kicked ass.
I'll take the L on that one.
I mean, you got a 90%. That's an A. You got an A. Buddy.
Yeah, but it's not an A plus. All right. In my
Okay.
household, you have to have an A plus.
Wow. You're an A plus in my heart.
Thank you.
Let's give Drayfrjg a hand for an amazing job. So done. You kicked ass.
I'm always surprised by how much I remember of things until like someone asks me, and I'm like, oh yes, it's that thing, and then I know like the backstory before I realize what I know.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's been a great night. I've had a lot of fun, Dre. It's been a great kickoff to the month of October, and well, I do think it is time for us to end this stream and find somebody to raid on into. Friend of Luna and Uski. We got a cute little corgi named Icocaine, and not Michael Caine. Not Michael Caine.
Like icocaine?
Ikocane. So we're gonna send the raid on over that way, because I don't believe I've ever raided him before.
Okay.
So, but I want to thank Drayfrjg for coming in. Before we head out, is there anything you'd like to plug? Before we head out?
Yeah, if you know of any bird tubers that are just starting out, please do not be afraid to message me with them. Also, subscribe to my insurance policy with Drayfrjg Insurance.
Mm-hmm. Do that.
Just a low price of $5.99, 2 payments. That's all you need per month. Make sure to check out Crocodile's Drink a Day streams on Friday and Saturday mornings. And remember, Corvus Twig's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, and everybody, you have yourself a wonderful night.
Eco. That's pronounced eco, I think. Eco.
Yeah,
cocaine. It sounds really bad.
Yeah, probably. All right. Well, everybody, have yourself a great night, and we will see you all next week.
Raid message. Raid message.
I don't do raid messages.